Hello, everybody, and welcome back to your daily basketball recap. My name is Levi Jacob, and today I'm going to go through 5 teams that from the start of the NBA offseason have kind of shifted my opinion on their outlook and what could be in the coming year. I want to start off with the Phoenix Suns. Initially, when they made the trade for Mark Williams and drafted Kama Malawach, I think is how you pronounce his name, I was impressed by how they maneuvered around losing Kevin Durant and kind of trying to build up their team a little bit better. Upon further inspection of Kaman Malawach at Summer League, obviously Summer League is Summer League, he just seems to be more of a prospect, I think, than a lot of people were thinking. And I've thought long and hard about this team and the problems that they have facing them this year. I don't think that this team is going to be very good at all. I was impressed by how they maneuvered. However, I just don't know if the pieces that they picked up are going to eventually, like, I think that they took a lot of flyers. I don't know if the pieces that they picked up are going to be what merits them a good return in the future to be able to put around Devin Booker, or if these players I think will pan out to be able to work around Devin Booker. Jalen Green is kind of still a big question mark in his career. He's had a lot of ups, a lot of downs. Mark Williams, I actually am a big, Mark Williams. I think he's very underrated, Mark Williams. But still, I'm also like, I even think that Dillon Brooks is actually a pretty good player comparatively to a lot of the other things that they got back for Kevin Durant. But I just don't, as far as cohesion for this team, I don't really see how it would work on a basketball court. I feel like Devin Booker is going to be frustrated with the outcome. He's used to playing with high IQ players, and Dillon Brooks and Jalen Green are not always those players. So I hope that they prove me wrong, but I'm a little bit lower on them than I not a little bit. I'm much lower on them than I started off the offseason with. The next thing I want to move on to is the Utah Jazz. Now, this is a technicality. I thought at the beginning of the offseason they were actually going to be much better this year, but I thought it was because of the talent that they brought in and the budding talent that they currently have. Right now, Eurobasket is going on. I know European tournaments are never the tell-all for the situation. Larry Markkinen is currently putting up one of the best tournaments, I guess, for this competition. And he just looks athletic out there. He looks spry. He's moving quickly, which is so not something you're used to in the last, I want to say, year or so of his career. Right? Everyone thought that he was, injury prone within the last year. I think it was more tanking, an attempt at tanking. But I think that he's a very special talent when he's able to actually be out on the floor and really able to prove it. And I think that he's showing you this offseason that he's ready to, kick it up another notch. And I'm excited for their season this year. I really think they're actually making the playoffs. I think they're actually going to be a good team. It's going to shock a lot of people. So mark that down. It could be terribly wrong. All of these could be terribly wrong. We'll see what happens. The next team I want to move on to is the Magic. I love the Desmond Bane move. I really did, and I still do. That being said, they got Tyus Jones as well as offseason. They moved on from Kentavious Caldwell-Pope within that trade as well. That was the right move. He just didn't pan out on this team. He didn't have enough people. He didn't have a good enough distributor to him to be able to really make it work. I just don't think that Desmond Bane, I think he really adds a good piece to this team. I still think that they're another good piece away from being able to actually make noise. Paolo is going to progress. He's going to be awesome. I've heard a lot of recently. I've heard a lot of Paolo slander. I want people to stop that. I want people to remember that he's a very, very young player who really shows a lot of promise. Like, allow players to grow. He also he was out for a good portion of last season with an oblique injury. He still managed to show how much he had progressed. From the year prior, with kind of getting back into it with that injury. And he's he's a very special talent. I think that a lot of people are they keep saying that they're like kind of rating him based off of what we believe his talent ceiling could be. Keep doing it. He's a great player. To me, I don't see any reason why he wouldn't reach a next level. He's done it every single season so far. He's going to have to hit free throws, of course, at a higher clip, but he's great. Franz Wagner, I'm a big Franz Wagner guy. I think that his shot will come back around. They'll have better spacing between the two of them. They'll figure out how to coexist better because we've seen it with wings before to be able to make it work. That being said, Desmond Bane is an awesome, awesome player. He's a very complementary piece to those guys. I still just feel like they need more of a primary facilitator. Tyus Jones did it with some success in Phoenix, but that team was terrible. And he also showed at times that he was not the best option to be out there. So I just feel like Desmond Bane as a lead ball handler is not the solution to a long-term winning basketball opportunity. But another one. I hope that they prove me wrong. I'm a very big fan of this Magic team. Also, Jalen Suggs is out there. He's not exactly a distributor either, but an excellent defender. The list goes on and on as far as the talent on this team. I'm happy for Orlando because it's been a long time to wait for this, opportunity to reach the next peak. Moving on, the Warriors. I would love I'm a big history guy. I want to see LeBron win another ring. I want to. I like to watch history in the making. I would love to see Steph win another championship. Draymond as well in there, and Jimmy win his first, because I think that Jimmy Butler actually really deserves it. I think a lot of people really criminally also slander Jimmy Butler. He's just awesome. Jimmy Butler's he's the most exceptional role player that you can get on a team. You need him to score, he scores. You need him to defend, he does that at such a high level. You need him to distribute, he does that at a high level. His switchability is incredible. He's awesome when he's not injured. And even when he is injured, he's still awesome. It makes me nervous that this is their top line. It reminds me of the Warriors when they had Kevin Durant in 2019, but everyone's older, and it's Jimmy Butler and not Kevin Durant. And no Klay Thompson. I don't know what Pajemski's ceiling is. I'm not going to pretend like I do. I don't know. I don't like the way that the Kuminga thing is going or has gone. It doesn't seem like he has that much higher of a value within the scheme of the league. And the teams that are really trying to vie for Kuminga don't have much to give back in a way that I think would make a proper, basketball shift the way that honestly Jimmy Butler going to the Warriors did. Because I just think that they're a piece away from actually being able to win something in this instance of this team. And unfortunately, they don't have a lot of time to operate in order to make that happen. They have really high salaries. They need to be a young player who's exceptionally talented and able to really move the needle for them. And I just don't know who that player would be or what team would trade that player. Maybe talk to the Mavericks about Cooper Flag. No. Sorry, couldn't help myself. Yeah, I don't like all of those guys being that old. Through watching this NBA Finals run for both the Pacers and the Thunder, it reminds me every single year how many games you have to go through and what a physical toll it takes on you. And I have yet to see a guy 35 plus be able to do that whole entire playoff run and feel healthy and good and be as effective as possible. And that's like part of the reason why I'm also like worried for KD on the Rockets. Like, he's not really going to take possessions off. It's KD. But it's a lot of playing time that these guys have to go through. And especially in the West, you got a lot of talent in the West. So I'm hopeful for their sake that they're able to pull it through with the correct players. But I'm more doubtful, at the start of the 2025-26 season than I was at the end of the 25 season. Lastly, the Pelicans. And I'm surprised that I'm saying that, because if you were to ask me, what month are we in now? September 1st. If you were to ask me a month ago even, I would have told you I think that team is going to be absolutely terrible. I look at their roster again. I don't think they're winning any championships anytime soon, but I really thought they would be the bottom of the West. The way that they constructed the roster to have shooters and interior, I'm not going to say defenders, but people with interior presence and enough ability to run with the ball in order to make it all work for Zion Williamson. Hopefully, everything in regards to injuries with the whole team is able to stay in check this season. But I happen to actually weirdly like what they've done. The CJ McCollum thing, um, I don't know, to tell you that Jordan Poole, his season last year was not as bad as the season prior to that one. But I don't think he's a winning basketball player. But that being said, if he can contribute at the level that he was last season and, continue to be more of a perimeter threat to create more space inside, and you have a bunch of wings that can hit 3-point shots. You also have Herb Jones, who's able to be really a lockdown defender for this team. Trey Murphy is able to grow as a player, able to progress. Jordan Hawkins is able to hit shots like you need. Honestly, I like the construction of this team a lot, or at least a lot more than I did initially. And that trade that they did, earlier near the draft was obviously stupid. I think Jeremiah Fears is a perfect player to be on this team, especially with all of their injury concerns, and kind of just test out how much of an engine he has and how far you can go with him. I think there's better players still on the board when they picked him. But as everything stands now, I think that they're just an interesting team. I think it might go back to something closer to what this team was, I want to say, about 2 years ago, when Willie Green had them playing pretty well through, I think, the first half of the season. It was, I want to say it was 2 years ago. And I surprised myself when I realized it, because I really didn't understand what was happening with this Pelicans team. So it's going to be an interesting season. I'm really looking forward to it. We're not so far away from it. Yeah, let me know your thoughts, hopes, dreams, wishes, ideas. Hit the like button, subscribe. We're going to keep coming with lots of content. Let us know if you have any ideas, anything you want to see us cover. But that was your daily basketball recap in 15 minutes or less. I want to thank you, Max, for producing. I want to thank you, Shlomo, for being an excellent co-host. I want to thank all of you for listening and watching. And I'll see you tomorrow. I hope you have a great day.